Claressa Shields has been on our timelines, on social media, and in the news for everything, including her boxing, but more so about her comments and her relationship with rapper Papoose, who is married to Remy Ma, but they are currently going through a tumultuous divorce. From her antagonizing comments to her fashion sense, her hair, to her picking fights with people, allegedly and potentially, to her expressing her sentiments about her new beau, Papoose, and even down to arguing online with Remy Ma, who is still married to Papoose, like I said. This is a crazy situation to me, and in my opinion, that I'm about to voice to you.
We're about to voice it with friend love one.
Tune in. Welcome to Voice It with Fran Lavoie, and I'm your host, Fran Lavoie. And in speaking about Claressa Shields, I want to give my opinions about who she is, because I want to start by saying all of this first. I think she is a beautiful woman. I think even in the pictures that she has put up where she's not the most made up and done up, I still can look past that and see that she has beautiful facial features. She has a beautiful shape. Obviously, she works on it because she is a boxer and an Olympic gold medalist. She's very athletic, very, very pretty, and I do like her confidence. I like the archetype of her confidence, I should say, because she talks a lot and she's very, very self-assured. So I do like those aspects about her. I like aspects of how she's overcome a lot of things in her life. And I do like that in some instances, she does try to be positive. Now, there's a lot with Claressa, and I'm not going to play these clips because I don't want it to be too long. But the things that I do not, well, I should say that I find concerning about Claressa Shields. Number one, this situation with Papoose. She's very much in love with him. And, she talks about how they met. They met at a fight that she had or some type of function, sports related. And then they started dating, and now Papoose is the greatest provider she's ever had. Now he's all these things, and she's gonna start a family with him, according to the radio. Interviews she's done and comments that she made. She started glowing up. She just turned 30 this year, and prior to her 30th birthday, and even after, she's had some interesting looks, but nonetheless, when she is all done up, she's absolutely gorgeous. She recently did a photo shoot wearing a black gown, and it's arguably the best that she's ever looked. Prior to that, July 26th, she won a fight, and I forget the opponent's name, and when she was doing her weigh-in, she came in, it looked like a Gucci kind of beige outfit, and the breastbone part of it was lifted up just so that she could show off the tattoo that she got with Papoose' name on it. Now, I'm all for Black love. I'm all for love in general. And I'm all for people being in healthy situations. But I don't think that this is one of them, in my opinion. You know, Papoose is still married to Remy Ma. And, you know, if you guys don't know about that, Remy and Papoose have been together, married for 17 years. He married her when she was behind bars over the phone. And when she got out in 2014, they joined the cast of Love and Hip Hop, and he married her in a lavish ceremony on TV. They renewed their vows in 2018. She revealed she was pregnant after going through a couple of IVF attempts. They have a daughter named Reminisce. Now, Remy has a son. Unfortunately, he's going through some legal woes that you can look up. Papoose, I believe, has 3 or 4 other children, and and they had a blended family. Now, they were the pinnacle of Black love. You know, there's even on Love and Hip Hop, I think he took her on a horse and carriage ride, and he has a shirt with her face on it and a hat with her face on it. And people just thought that it was so ridiculous and, you know, cheesy, but also just very lovely to see that this man held Remy Ma down, you know, waited for her, made sure everything was cool, you know, seemed very combative when people would bring her up. You know, I remember he went on Hot 97, I believe, and, you know, him and, you know, the DJs were going at it, you know, and yeah, you know, all that stuff, just for them to get a divorce and just for it to be revealed, allegedly by Remy, that Papoose wasn't all that we thought he was. And just for Papoose to allege that Remy Ma is not all that we thought she was. Now, when Claressa got into the picture, it was because back in the winter of 2024, I'm sorry, not 2014, 2024, surrounding the release of Claressa Shields' biopic that was coming out in theaters, they were going to roll out some dirty laundry about Remy Ma. And so Remy got ahead of it and started to expose screenshots and all these things, and essentially why they're separated and getting a divorce. It had been speculated that they weren't together for a long time because they stopped posting about each other for a while. And Remy Ma had been allegedly and reportedly linked to a rapper from Philly named Easy the Block Captain, a battle rapper that was a part of her rap battle league, Chrome 23. There's video footage of her yelling out that she loves him after he asked in a battle rap, you know, all these different things. During the arguments between Papoose and Remy, there are pictures being thrown out there of Remy and Easy the Block Captain taking photos, all these things. Papoose alleging that she wasn't there on Christmas, Remy coming back with the receipts, all this stuff. And, you know, her going back and forth with Claressa calling her a crash out, all this stuff, trying to say that Remy looked old and foolish. And social media was undoubtedly on Remy Ma's side. And I don't blame them. Remy Ma is the wife, you know? And even though it appears and alleged to Papoose that Remy Ma cheated first and she left him first, there's a lot of speculation on the relationship and a lot of alleged stories. The fact is that both parties have moved on before getting a divorce. It took a Breakfast Club interview that Claressa Shields did, where she said things. You guys can look that up. I guess they didn't want, she talked about the elephant in the room, which was Remy, briefly spoke about the relationship and kept going. But it triggered Remy Ma to respond. She did a 40-minute or so live, kept coming back and forth with receipts, even Easy the Block Captain between that winter of 2024 and now, could have been making comments. And Papoose filed for divorce subsequently after that 40-minute live just a couple of months ago, which led people to believe you weren't ready to divorce her either. But here you are parading around Claressa. Or rather, Claressa is parading you around. That's what it gives. And that is the reason why I don't like this situation. I think, and in my beliefs, people can certainly move on before the divorce in their minds and in their hearts and in their spirit. But when you are married, you're still married, and there is an opportunity for you to get back with the person. There's a lot of emotions. It's almost 20 years married and probably more than 20 years together. So this person, you have affections that you otherwise wouldn't have, or it's over and done with, but there are still raw emotions left on the table. To me, Claressa is doing the most over a man who is still not available. I think that Remy Ma is being a little bit more quiet about it, but I still think that she is needing to finalize things and focus on herself, what's going on with her son, and focus on their child. But it doesn't match the intensity of tomfoolery that I believe Claressa is doing. Other things that Claressa has done that I think is ridiculous is that she went on Pop the Balloon and she started to discuss, because gentleman asked her if she could beat anybody up, this, that, and the third. And she called out some of the girls from Baddies, namely Krishan Rock's sister. And I thought that was absolutely foolish, and she kept perpetrating that. And those girls are like, you are a professional boxer. We are street fighters. We don't stand a chance, but if you put me in some training, I'd go toe-to-toe with you. And Claressa kept perpetuating that she was the best. No one was going to be able to fight her or beat her up, which is what you're supposed to do when you are an athlete. Even Remy Ma said that about rapping. You're supposed to say that you're the best because it's a sport, so to speak. Now, Claressa Shields, as a true athlete, trying to fight people who are not in the athletic shape that she's in and perpetrating it and starting it, in my opinion, is very immature and unnecessary. Now, Layla Ali, who is the daughter of Muhammad Ali and a former boxer who had retired, I think her last fight was probably about 8 years ago. She was asked if she would fight Claressa Shields. And she said, yeah, just saying, yeah, I would, it's debatable, more or less. I don't think that Layla was serious or not about it. But then Claressa found the $15 million purse, which is pretty much the money, to say, come on, girl, let's go. And as you can see, she's taunting Layla Ali. And Layla Ali is like, I'm going to respond when I want to respond to this. It is what it is. Me thinking this is just her way of saying this has gotten out of hand, and it is what it is. So when Layla Ali declines the fight, Claressa goes on to say, oh, it's because she's scared. I would have beat her up, all these things. I'm paraphrasing, but bottom line is her bravado is where it's supposed to be. I'm not saying that she is wrong. I'm not saying that, like, she's supposed to have this confidence and cockiness, but it is now obnoxious. You saying that you want to start a family with Papoose, I think that she deserves better than what she's receiving in this situation. Now, the one thing, she's saying that Papoose takes care of everything. He is the most financially secure man I've ever been with. Mind you, Claressa was engaged last year, or probably the year before. This is all, based on what she said, what we've heard about her, and now she's with Papoose. To me, this is all for publicity. This is my humble opinion. I think that while she may be interested in Papoose, and Papoose might have some interest in her, to me, this is nothing more than a relationship that is set up to have them in the spotlight. While they do enjoy each other, I don't think that this is real. It's because I don't think that Papoose is over his marriage. I think that he probably doesn't want to be with Remy Ma. Much less, I think he's upset with her and wants to at least be separated, But I don't think that, he's over the situation to be emotionally available enough to be with Claressa. I think that he will give her a baby. I think that he will be with her. But I think at some point, he will be checked out, in my opinion. Because as a man, I don't see that he's spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, and physically gotten over his marriage to Remy Ma, because it's not over. With Remy Ma, I think that, if I'm honest with you, I think if Remy Ma played her cards right, and if Papoose was caught in his most vulnerable state, and if she wanted to get back with Papoose, and if Papoose was in a state of, look, I'm just tired, they would be back together. I think that Claressa needs to slow down with her undying monogamy to Papoose, and I think that she needs to pump the brakes on that situation, in my opinion. I think that she needs to become more mature when it comes to how she responds on social media. I think that, she says a lot of things to troll. These pictures of her, and this is why I gave my disclaimer at the beginning, I think she is a beautiful woman. But do I think that she was a baddie before Papoose? No. I don't think she was a baddie. Now, I'm not going to talk about somebody else without talking about myself. I was not styling my hair and doing all these things. Like, for me, I always thought I was a beautiful woman. I always thought I was pretty, but I can't say that I was like drop dead gorgeous in the sense that I had my hair done. I dressed in ways that made me look good. I didn't do that. I was a tomboy. I was rough around the edges. My hair was sometimes done, sometimes not. My nails, I was biting them for a long time. Like all these things. To me, when I think about a baddie, I think about a baddie in the physical, the spiritual, and the emotional sense. We all have a lot of growing to do, so I'm not going to knock her for that. But when she went on that rant, I was like, I was been a baddie before, Papoose. No, I think with the media attention, And with all the comments of people saying that you don't look good, you're not cute, you knew that you had to get a glam squad. And so now you're putting out beautiful photos. But there is too much evidence of you out there not being cute before Papoose. The only way that you'd be able to debunk that is by showing us that you were a baddie before then, that you had style before then. There are a lot of outfits that she had that I could see where she was trying, but it looked either tacky, it looked very, I'm going to prom. There's just, I've been there, girl. I understand. And, it's okay that you're riding this wave, but it's also embarrassing, Now, there are some people that would disagree with me. You can drop down in the comments and let me know why. But these are just my 2 cents on her. I think that she needs to stop antagonizing people that she don't got no business antagonizing. Layla Ali is 17 years her senior. I don't think that Layla Ali would win the fight because age and the conditioning is not where it needs to be. I don't think she would. That's just like me expecting the 1992 NBA Dream Team from the Olympics to try to beat like an all-star team today that's currently in the league. They may always have the skill of playing. Michael Jordan might still be able to do some stuff in practice on the court, but LeBron still has the physicality. Steph Curry, all these people still have the agility that they once had long ago. Problem is, it was long ago. So I don't expect Layla Ali to win. If she does, it would be, okay, girl, she still got it. But I would expect a equal shakedown at least. But yes, even though Layla made a comment, I think she was making it in jest. I think that she didn't expect Claressa to be as audacious. And so she was just like, whatever, child, I'm not going to do this. That's what I gather. I could be wrong. Now, besides all that, the whole Krishan Rock sister thing, absolutely immature, as well as just her presence in general. There is a lot of maturity that needs to come. And once again, I've been there. I know what it's like to respond and say things and feel like I have to justify my responses, and it's just not necessary. It's just not. I think that she needs to have a seat and really just think about what she's doing romantically, what she's doing as her public persona. But she said on several times that she does not care. So if she doesn't care, do you? Doesn't take away from me giving my opinion, just like she gives hers. So it is what it is, sis. People have their opinions about me, and I just have to stay true to myself. So if this is her true self, go on, girl. Is her public perception the greatest right now, in my opinion? I think not. But if she likes it, it is what it is. This was my opinion. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Are there aspects that you agree with? Are there aspects that you don't? Did you know anything about this? Is this your first time hearing about this girl? Well, drop down in the comments and let me know. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell for more. All right, you have a wonderful day. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Fran Lavoie. Thank you so much for listening to this video and watching it. Now, if you like this one, there's plenty others where that came from. Be sure to check out my channel, like, comment, share, and subscribe.